Hi guys, it's Mary. Welcome back. Today we're going to do the best of 2023. This year I decided that I would try to keep this small, but there are a couple categories I'm looking at and giving the side eye to over here because I'm like, I may have gone over the amount that I wanted to, but I wanted to, like, for most of the categories, give you a couple of options, especially when it comes to high-end versus drugstore. This has been my favorite primer since I brought it out. And this one's not opened because I just got it. Just a clear silicone primer. That's what this is. Straight up silicone. And as you age, silicone may be your friend. You know, it is mine. And so, yeah. But not everybody likes silicone primers. You may like a primer that's not. And in the Lancome line, that one is called Prep and Matte. And I think that this is a dupe, or good enough, all right, to substitute for the Lancome Matte primer. So there you go, there's those. I have fallen hard in love with the Marsh Mellow primer. It's got marshmallow root in it, that's why it's called that, and it's not new. But I thought when this came out that the reason that they were calling it marshmallow is because it was going to be fluffy like a marshmallow. No, it's not. This is similar to a moisturizer, and yet it does what a primer should. So it will set enough that it will grip your makeup and hold on to it, but yet it never feels bad. It feels good and hydrating on my skin. And I come in here sometimes and just put this on as if it was a moisturizer. I just really like it. My eye primer of choice is still the Sigma Eye Crayon Stick. This is like paint pot in a stick. You can use your finger or you can use a brush and it does wonderful. Sometimes an eyeshadow may not be performing for you and you think it's the eyeshadow when actually it's the primer you're using. Recently I did on camera an eyeshadow look and the eyeshadow primer was the problem. This primer never fails me. Lately, I've been liking more of a dewy foundation, even if I'm going to powder it down and make it more matte. I love this foundation more than I do the first original Teint Idole foundation, which I still love, even though they reformulated it. I even love the shade of this, which is 110C. A lot of people through the year were giving Lancome guff about this and the color changes and how it doesn't match what they wore in the regular Idole. But you know, it's a beautiful formula, and this is my new Lancome favorite foundation. And the second one, thanks to Lorraine, thank you, Lorraine. I like this a whole bunch. This and their powder this year was my step into Givenchy. We keep talking about shade range to accommodate darker skin tones. You're not doing your job if you have a foundation and you're not accommodating the darker skin tones. But let me just say that pale people also, I'm not talking about me pale, I'm talking about Lorraine pale. Lorraine is very pale. So pale that she can't find a shade hardly in any foundation. And she did it in the original Lancome Teint Idole. In the original Lancome Teint Idole, she had a shade that worked perfect for her. And then Lancome changed shade range with Care and Glow and even with the new foundation. And she's like, what do I do? So while a lot of companies are doing really good getting a darker shade range, that's good. You're doing good there, okay? But you need to think about people who are really pale, and Givenchy has it. And before we move out of the category, let me say, for those of you who maybe don't know me, please hit the subscription button. We would love to have you here. I talk about and review makeup and lifestyle products and stuff as it pertains to the more mature woman, and I'm 61 years old right now. This is in the FritzyNESS basket every time. It's been there since the first basket. It'll probably be there until I don't have it anymore. And I'll probably get another one as soon as I use this up, unless I get rid of it. And that is Mercier's Secret Camouflage. The reason I like it is because it's sticky. This stuff will stick wherever you put it. Now, I don't use this under my eyes. That's why I have different kinds of concealer. This concealer, it goes over my age spots and whatever I want to cover after my makeup is on. I wish I had found this 8 years ago. Back at the beginning of my channel, I was trying to find something like this. There was an age spot like right here. I think it was on this side. I don't even know, it's gone. And it was such a pest that no matter what I did, I couldn't cover it. If you want to be happy, all right, maybe even for the rest of your life, you'll get this. But if we're talking about concealers that you use under your eyes or, you know, just other than that, ta-da! It goes to Givenchy and Natasha Denona. And hold on, I got a drugstore for you that won't quit. But, you know, high-end speaking, Givenchy. Yeah, I tried this because I love that foundation so much and it does not disappoint. Now, here's the doe foot. I really do like a doe foot that is more bendy. I mean, this is like not really hard, but it's not really that soft either. But what's inside? Perfection. And then there's this baby. Its doe foot is like that and it is really, really bendy. And what's in there is so good. The Natasha Denona concealer, and both of those wouldn't be here if it wasn't for this. I fell in love with NYX this year, and the Bear With Me concealer serum, it's got a pump, not a doe foot, and it just takes the tiniest bit. You can do both eyes with just that tiny little dot, and that's too much. I would like to get the lightest shade so that I can put the lightest shade in these troughs and then come under my eyes with this. When I buy a concealer now, this is the one that goes with me to the store so that I can see, is this the right shade? How does it stack up compared to this? Because it's got to perform at least this well, or I don't want it. Before we move out of concealers, I do want to give an honorable mention to the YSL. This is the Touche Eclat Radiant Touch. And the reason I say an honorable mention is because this is a concealer. It is not what I do with it. If you just want a concealer that will brighten up a little bit and it's lightweight to go under your eyes, this is such a light concealer. I would never dream to try and conceal with it, but it does have some light reflecting properties to it that makes your under eyes look better. Very rarely do I ever use this as a concealer. I use it to clean up under my brows for my eye makeup looks. That's what this gets used for. And also, before we leave that category, we have the best, I think, color correctors. They go under concealer or not. Sometimes I've used these on their own. That would be Sigma, still loving that one. This is the first, not really cosmetic, but their first step into face makeup, I guess. That's cream. If you want one from the drugstore, I highly recommend the e.l.f. Putty Color Correcting Brightener. Both of these do a superior job to Charlotte Tilbury. They both have enough of a sticky feeling to them that they will stay put underneath your concealer. When I use Charlotte Tilbury's, I put it on, but then when I go over it with the concealer, it goes away. These both work beautifully with every concealer I've tried this year. I like different powders for different things, and it's hard for me to not talk about powders. And I think it's because I went so long with cake face that when I discovered that with the right powder, it doesn't have to be that way. With the right powder, even at almost 62, you can get her done. Sometimes I use a different powder under my eyes than I use in the middle of my face, on the outside of my face. So this year I'm going to tell you about setting powders, I'm going to tell you about finishing powders, I'm going to tell you about highlighting powders. Let's start with setting. The two powders that get the thumbs up from me this year are still Lancôme Long Time No Shine. And you know, I think I only have one drugstore option in here, so let me throw out one off the top of my head from the drugstore. Fit Me. The Fit Me loose or pressed powder, either one from Maybelline, is fantastic. And then we got this one here, Laura Mercier's iconic when it comes to setting powder. But this isn't their regular traditional one, which I still love. This one here is the one that's called Ultra Blur. Their other one is a little bit heavier than this. Look how fine this is. It just disappears. It is beautiful. And to me, the only ones that really compete that you can go to a store and buy, because Nakia Joy has fantastic powder, okay, but you can't just walk in a store and buy that. Sometimes you need it faster than you could get it from her. Another powder that I think rivals it is Huda. Now, I'll tell you, there is something that kept me from using this for a long time. The word baking probably helped sell the powder, but that's why I didn't initially get on the bandwagon for it, is because it says easy bake. And I'm like, I don't bake, not gonna bake, don't wanna bake, it's gonna be too heavy. No, it isn't. Any of the powders I'm telling you about with a damp sponge will make your pores go away. So Cupcake worked out, and this one here is in Cherry Blossom. It's new to me. I picked it up because it's pink. Briefly, I'm touching on this. This is the one I was telling you about that I use underneath my eyes. It's so light, it's not even there. Like, is that there? This is Nars's Translucent Crystal. It's a light reflecting setting powder. And I just take a fluffy brush, come through the powder, knock it off on the back of my hand, and then come under my eye to set my concealer. But I tend to like concealers that set themselves. Now, was there a new powder that I tried this year that I love? Because I've told you about those powders a lot. Yes, there sure was. It's this one from Givenchy. Again, another thing I purchased because I loved that foundation, and this powder is fantastic. Oh my goodness. This powder was expensive. Even this little one. I loved it so much that some of you were telling me about Moira. So Moira gets in this category for me this year as a dupe, I guess, for the Givenchy. I even did a video where I took the Givenchy on one side of my face and the Moira on the other. I think it rivals this one right here, the Prism Libre. So, no question, this is fantastic. But if you can't afford that, just go get the Moira. These are what I call finishing powders. They may not call themselves finishing powders, but to me, these are finishing powders. Some of you are going to ask me, so I'm going to tell you what I mean by that. A setting powder is what I put on right after I do my makeup to set my makeup. A finishing powder just makes everything pull together, and it just makes it look so luminous, but not in a highlighter kind of way. The finishing powder is what you see me take a huge brush and go and buff all my makeup together with. It's just a gorgeous finish. Like, she has really great skin. And these two I classify as that, even though they may not say on there that's what they are. And this has always been in the category. It's always gonna be. I find it hard to believe that I would never use Hourglass ambient light powders ever again. They're just that good. And this one here is Mood. It's my favorite one. I've hit pan on it. And then new this year, they sent me one too, but I gave that one away to one of you in a giveaway, okay, because I bought this one. This is Laura Mercier's. It is a more subtle Hourglass. It gives just a slight bit of luminosity to you. But if you think that this is too much, try this one. And since the dawn of time, I've always told you about the Lancome Absolute powders, and for some reason, after all these years, Lancome discontinued this powder. And the only thing that I can think of that makes sense in my brain is they must have had a patent and it ran out. And then after it ran out, everybody and their brother. I mean, because this past year and even into late last year, everywhere you look, e.l.f. has one, Laura Mercier has one, you know, everybody came out with a version of this. None of them are actually this, but they're close. And the closest one is actually from Laura Mercier. These are luminous powders, but they could be finishing powders for some of you. This one is Laura Mercier's, and this is Lancome Pêche. So Pêche is more rosy than this one, but either one, when you blur them out on your skin with a buffing brush, they're just gorgeous. You know it's going to be my palette, right?
I know, it's like when you think that your kids are cuter than everybody else's, right? Or is it? You guys know who Jen is, right? What's Up in Makeup? Oh, actually, that's not the name of her channel, but the person who brings all of the beauty community their weekly makeup news, right? Wouldn't you agree that she might know a thing or two?
The Sydney Grace and Glitzy Fritzy palette. It is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Goes on so nicely, so easily. The foils do exactly what I want them to do. They're nice and foiled and shiny. The mattes are easy to blend. Lasting power is great. It's just fantastic.
What have I been telling you for the last couple of years? My favorite eyeshadow palette is Tiny Marvels, and I hope that she can see me because Mel believed this was going to happen. She believed in me when I did it. I mean it with everything I have in me. If you took everything I had, I'd be okay as long as you left me with these two. Number one, of course, it's my palette, so it should be, but right after that is Mel's. But if you want to know something from a store, then I only found one palette this year that I would put up there with this is a really good one, and that would be the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude. If you're an everyday kind of eyeshadow girl, this to me is an everyday kind of eyeshadow palette. No, it doesn't have any pops of color, but you know, it does have an everyday nude eye in it for me, and I just love this palette a lot. I think that it's got a lot of wear and tear on it for something that's new to my collection. This just came out at the latter part of the year. I really like this palette a lot. Stamp of approval. For 2023, I told myself, you're not going to pick this. I have picked this as the best bronzer since this came out. This is from Charlotte Tilbury. It's the Airbrush bronzer. I love this bronzer. And I keep boring everybody to tears by picking this bronzer. So this year I said, you're not going to choose that. You have to choose something other than this. So then I thought, well, maybe the Patrick Ta or no, not going to pick that one or the Gwen Stefani's one, okay, the Give Beauty one, because I actually like to use those two together. I like to take the Give Beauty with the Patrick Ta, and both of them have a shade in it that is not useless, but not so great to me, so they can't win either. The first one would be from Sigma. Wow, Sigma knocked it out of the park with this. This is such a great bronzer. And also, I really enjoyed the House Labs bronzer. I thought that this did a fantastic job. This one is light level 3 and it is a little bit dark, just a tiny bit dark for me, but the formula is really good. And then coming in toward the end of the year, Moira. This is the second thing, if you've been keeping track. This is a very inexpensive brand. Now, when you get this, it's gonna have a gold overspray on it. Wipe it off and it'll go away. And it is just a beautiful bronzer. Sigma's blushes slam it out of the park in all categories. And when I say that, I mean this one's a cream. This one here is in Corderosa. Hello, what a surprise. I love Corderosa from them the most. In the lipsticks and the blushes, look at that. Oh, so it doesn't matter to me if it's a powder, a duo, a cream, whatever it is. If it's Sigma and it's blush, they can do no wrong. Hourglass has always been in this category for me. This is the kind of blush like their powders that you use if you want to look lit from within. That's where Hourglass excels. They do that whole lit from within thing that is just, yeah. I'm so sorry that I keep telling you about the same things over and over, but if you've got a product this good, it would be lying to come up here and tell you any different. So yeah, Hourglass is probably always going to be in here. The third and final blush, because I could go on and on, I love blush. The third and final blush that I want to tell you about is Libre, and it's new in 2023 from Sydney Grace, is their cream blushes. This one is just perfection if you ask me. They're so creamy. This one is in the shade Ballerina. Just the faintest hint of color. It's so pretty. All you gotta do is take like the Sigma F80 Air or something that's littler and just dab in there and just tap, tap, tap. Over sunscreen, over makeup. I love the new Sydney Grace cream blushes. The two that I'm picking this year are both cream. And the first one is from La Mercier. La Mercier sent this to me. This is the liquid highlighter and I like it in champagne pink. It's got that sponge thing on it, but that makes the delivery of this so nice. And you just need the tiniest bit. It's just so pretty. So pretty. I love this thing. I know you would too. And next to that, I would tell you about this from Charlotte Tilbury, the Flawless Filter, but why? Because I have something from the drugstore that is a dupe. So there's that. This one in Fair from e.l.f., it's the same thing. Okay. So because these two look the same and do the same thing, well, I don't see any point paying for the Charlotte. And when I'm out of this, I highly doubt I'll buy it again. Not because I don't love it, not because it isn't beautiful, but because I have this. So if you're looking for a drugstore highlighter that's cream that gives you this kind of natural glow, And what I look for in an eyeliner might be different than you. If you're looking for an eyeliner that you can use on top of your eyelid, you know, through your lashes or under, and you want to smudge it, I really like for that the Lancome Stilo liners. And this one here is in chocolate. It's a nice creamy formula. It does set down, but it gives you enough playtime to take this, and I have this in 2 or 3 different colors, and you can smudge so nicely with this. And I really, really love Lancome Stilo. It's waterproof, does an excellent job, but I think this thing sucks when it comes to going in your waterline and your tight line. Within a few hours, I'm having to reapply it. And Makeup by Mario came out with this, and I still would recommend it. It is a pencil, so right away I like it because I can sharpen it, see where I'm at, and I just like the sharpened ones the best. And it's almost perfect. It's got a little brush on the end, so you can smudge it if you need to. Sets down really well. I do really love this, and I would get this if I couldn't get this. So this is from Give Beauty. Now, while I say that, I want to tell you there is a drugstore option that you can get that will go in your waterline and tight line and stay there and does as good as this pencil. But because you get so little of it, it's actually more cost effective to buy this. And that would be the Milani Stay Put. Yeah, it does stay put. But I did do the math for you guys once in a video and showed you that that pencil is not that cost effective. You may as well go get a high-end eyeliner. And that's what this is from Give Beauty. This one is in Spider Webs. I have this in Bathwater, and I also have this in Acting Shady, which is their gray one. This one is black. And I love that creamy thing to go mainly in my tight line, but I like it in my waterline as well. It sets down, it stays. And so this is the winning liner. There's a lot of brow pencils that I really, really like. There's too many to even mention. So to narrow down, you had to meet certain criteria. You have to be a pencil that I have purchased repeatedly, or I would purchase repeatedly, because this one here isn't old enough to say that about. But these two here, I purchase repeatedly. And even if I have a whole drawer full, when I run out, I still go get these two. And that is the Lancôme Brow Define Pencil. And I have that in 11 medium brown. It's a micro pencil, as you can see there, which I really love because I like coming to the front and being able to draw little hairs. It's got a brush on the end, brushes out really nice. This one I've talked about forever. It was such a shock to me that I liked this pencil, because I remember the first time I ever saw this pencil, I heard about it from Emily Noel. And I thought, well, yeah, I guess you do like it. You got nice, fluffy, hairy brows. Why wouldn't you like something you could just... And I thought, that would never work for somebody like me who has to draw in the front of their brows.
It ain't bad.
That's actually how I did my brows today. I didn't do such a hot job, but this little I think it's $3 now. In neutral brown, this pencil, tops. Love it. But this pencil here, I would purchase this again. It is from Give Beauty, and it's in the shade 4. But look at it. This is like a blade. I really enjoyed this. And when it's gone, I'll pick it up again because it's not like any other pencil I have. And if you spend, a day or so practicing with this, you'll know why. I don't want to buy a mascara and it only bulks, or buy a mascara and it only lengthens. But I'm going to tell you about 4 today, and one of them is not here, but that is from the brand Prime Chromatics. It's a brand that's for people who are over 50. It gave me everything I wanted. It made my eyelashes long, separated, made them look thick and voluminous, and I just love that mascara. And I'd love to have a tube of that I could open at the same time that I open my Lancome Lash Idole, because I don't know which one I like the best. This one here is my favorite Lancome mascara now. It's got a really bendy wand on it. It does a really good job of curling your lashes up. You look like you have a volumized, elongated, separated lash. And like I said, that's what I want from every mascara that I love. And the next ones are from the drugstore. I don't think you have to spend a lot of money for mascara to get a really good one. And one of my most favorite ones is Maybelline Sky High. If you like Benefit Bad Gal Bang, you will love Maybelline Sky High. It has the same kind of brush as Bad Gal Bang. And what I mean by that is when you're doing your lash, it just like bends down and follows through so that you end up with a sensational lash, a lash sensational Sky High. It just gives you that lash I love. Then because I love tubing mascara so much, and I don't have Caloray here to show you.
I mentioned Caloray's Come Hell or High Water because it's one of my favorites. But it occurs to me as I'm editing this that I get this question a lot. So I should explain how a tubing mascara differs from other mascaras. Regular mascaras are made with waxes and silicones, but tubing mascaras have a water-soluble polymer. And these polymers encase the lashes inside of little tubes, which are easily removed with warm water. So when you're looking for a tubing mascara, you want to look in the ingredient deck for polymers. Here are some that are from Sephora, and I'm talking about this one here because it's rough to find a good tubing mascara at the drugstore. And since I'm saying that, I just want to throw this one in here. I've only been using this for a week at this point, so I can't say this is a year-end favorite, but I do want to mention it because this one's even cheaper than the Milani. And if you've never tried a tubing mascara, you might want to pick this up, try it out, see if you like it, and then you can go to a more expensive one or not if you find you do.
I would consider this more of a Caloray kind of tubing mascara than I would a Thrive. I think Thrive is a little drier than this is, but I think it delivers a very good looking tubing lash. In the the liquid category, they're not new, and they are the Nars Power Mattes. In the last video, I think it was Fritzy Faves and Fails for this past month, I had on this one, the red. Somebody asked me, what do I have on? It's this. It's Star Woman. It's the first time I ever had these. I'm pretty sure that Star Woman was the 100-point perk. And then somehow I ended up with a little American Woman. I went through them both, and I purchased them in the full size. Went through them. And now I've bought them again. These are brand new. I've only worn them a couple of times, but they are my favorite liquid formula. So Nars Power Matte and e.l.f. These are the ones to beat. So this is Star Woman. Let me show it to you. It is a blue red that is just like beyond all blue reds. It just takes the cake for all blue reds. Look at that. It's so, so gorgeous and pigmented. And one thing I really love about these is the brush. It kind of tickles, okay, when you put it on. But because of the way this is shaped, you can actually use this as a liner. Okay, so you can line your lips and then fill them in with it. So that one's American Woman. And that one is Star Woman. They hang around a good long time. I'm not going to tell you that they don't kiss off, because if you got them wet, they would. They're comfortable. They don't feel dry on my mouth. They're just beautiful. Also, Nars was, for the longest time, one of my favorite lipsticks. Okay, their Audacious line. But then e.l.f. came out with these Eau Satins, and I just don't see the point in paying that price anymore. And this one here is the one I have on today, and it's called Please. So it's kind of a pink color, and my favorite is Dirty Talk, or is it? I really like that one a lot too. These are perfect. And the next two that I have probably isn't going to surprise you too much. Sigma, they're Infinity Point lipsticks, and I probably should tell you guys if you don't know it, in case you've never been here, I am affiliated with Sigma. I have a brush set, if you didn't know it. Because I'm affiliated, of course, they send me things all the time. So they sent me this. Now I have purchased this line before. In Temptation, I love that. I gave it to my sister. It is now her favorite lipstick, is Sigma's Infinity Point in Temptation. But this is so unique. If you watch what's turning on this, not this. This isn't turning. This is what's turning. It was designed that way. See, it's a teardrop so that it always keeps its point. That's why it's called Infinity Point. The formula is fantastic. This is new mod. You know, there's nothing worse than especially a red lipstick if you get the point off of it. Try and put a red holiday lip on that has no point. And you're going to be like with a lip brush, baby, because you ain't going to want that all over your face. And so that's why these were made this way. And if you are the woman who wears the points off of your lipsticks and it just really drives you crazy, get one of these. And the last product I'm going to tell you about are the lipsticks from BK Beauty. I love these. I think I'll put this one on now. This is called Grace. And oh, they feel so good. They sent them to me in every shade. And I just love this shade in particular, Grace. Let me show you that. It's so pretty. This is a shade that I'll wear even if I don't have any other makeup on. Please tell me below, what are your picks? Tell me what you love the most, what you think topped out 2023. I want to know that, and so does everybody else who reads the comments. Before you scooch out of here, I want to let you know that you are the best part of the Fritzy family. And if you're not having a blessed day, I want to let you know the way that you can get one is to go be a blessing to somebody else. And until next time, love you, see ya, bye. And I'm out. Mwah. Here's a kiss for you.
Excuse me. I don't know why I keep burping. Do you? I said, no, you're just gonna pick two, okay? I'm just gonna, Holly, holly golly, holly, that's not holly golly, you dumb butt, that's woolly bully, woolly bully. Woolly bully, if you want to be happy for the rest of your life, never make a pretty woman your wife. So from my personal point of view, get an ugly girl to marry you. I saw your wife the other day. She's so ugly. I'm so sorry, Fritzy family. I'm so sorry I keep subjecting you to these things. These things, I'm so sorry. Uncle Albert. So bouncy, 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 bouncy. Do I ever guys remind you of Tigger? Do you guys know that Shy Guy is Eeyore and I'm Tigger? That's what my family says. I don't know if you see that resemblance or not. See the resemblance. I have stripes all over me. Yeah. Say my name. I'm T.I. double gur. American woman, get off my hand. American woman. Yeah.
I know, it's like when somebody says their kids or their grands are cuter than yours, right? Or they think that. I know, it's like when you think that your kids are cuter than everybody else's, right? Or is it? You guys know who Jen is, right? What's Up in Makeup? Oh, actually, that's not the name of her channel, but the person who brings all of the beauty community their weekly makeup news, right? Wouldn't you agree that she might know a thing or two?